guys, it's Denise with Liquid Color, and today I'm going to go ahead and do a little mini tip for you. I've had a lot of people ask me about on my color spotlights how I do my different mixtures of the different colors. They're all pretty random, and so I'm going to go over today with you how I do that. So usually my palette is out of the shot when I'm doing these mixes and it's in really fast time, so I'm going to go ahead and do this in real time for you and kind of show you the process. For these particular little swatches, I use one of two brushes. I either have this little flat brush here or I have a filbert. It's just because they're synthetic and they don't pull too much paint, so I don't feel like I'm wasting too much, and they make nice little swatch cards for me. So I'm going to go ahead and use my filbert today. I'm going to go ahead and use Quinacridone Burnt Orange and Phthalo Turquoise today. This is one of my favorite combinations, but it's not going to end up on the color series because neither color is exactly popular, and the whole point of that series is to use really commonly known colors. So I'm going to go ahead and put a nice puddle of the Quinacridone Burnt Orange because it's the lighter and less intense of my two colors in my puddle here. And then I'm going to go ahead and try and very slowly add my Phthalo Turquoise. Now this is a very, very strong staining color, and if I wanted to do this absolutely perfectly, maybe I should show you that first. So if I wanted to do this for my own personal records and have a nice smooth gradient from one color to the other, I'm going to try and do these in as small increments as I can. So I'm actually going to go ahead and clean off my brush. And I'm going to go ahead and start with my Quinacridone Burnt Orange on one side here. I'm going to double check the camera so you can see that. Alright, so I've got my Quinacridone Burnt Orange, and now I'm going to try and get as many possible iterations as I can of these colors from one end to the other. So I'm going to take the tiniest bit of the turquoise and I'm going to mix that into the orange. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that swatch. Now this isn't a super tinted version, so I'm actually going to go ahead, that was too much, I added too much there. But I want this top row to be stronger. There we go. So if I wanted to do this where, if you saw in my sample here, there's some that are in full strength and some that are diluted. So at the very same time that I put down that first one, I could do a second one underneath that is a lighter version of that color. And then I can take a teeny bit more of this turquoise and I can add it in and do another full strength and another diluted. Adding a little bit more turquoise, another full strength, another diluted. The angle that my arm is at right now isn't super great for getting these straight lines, so I apologize that they're not super neat and pretty, but if you were doing this for yourself, you certainly could turn the paper so that you could see it a bit better. Or reach it a bit better, that is. And I'm just going to keep going and adding the tiniest little bit of pigment to this orange. And get as many colors as I possibly can. Pretty soon here, this is going to start to turn green. Anytime that I get too much paint on my brush, I want to go ahead and rinse that off because I know it's going to be too strong to add into my mixture here. And I'm going to go ahead and try and reset. I've run out of orange pretty much. So to get this to be a nice darker strength again, I'm going to mix it back and then try and find the same place I left off. This might not be an exact match. Yep, that's more brown again. using the back side of this paper, so it's not textured like the front side would be. And I've lost my strength again. I need to try and build this back up. And the reason this being so finicky and being hard to mix this exact shade is why I do it kind of randomly on the color spotlights, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. Because if I did this for every color spotlight for every color, it would be really, really time consuming. I'm going to go one more time to add in a dark orange to get some more pigmented color here. And then automatically bring it back to the bluish green that I was working with before. And this combination here is where I really start to love this color. I know these aren't as pretty, but these nice deep greens that you get with adding just a little bit of the orange to the phthalo green are just so beautiful. Phthalo Turquoise is a very dark, deep color, just like phthalo blue is. It's made from phthalo blue and phthalo green together. And it looks like we're starting to run into a position where these are mostly the same. So I can go ahead and pick up just my straight phthalo turquoise and end with that color. So this would be the full color range of all the different colors going from one color all the way to another, with both the full strength, kind of, these ones are a little bit washed out, and then the lighter versions of that. Now let me go ahead and show you what I do for color spotlight, because it's just more random and a lot faster for me to go through. The general concept is the same, so I'm going to go ahead and start with my orange. And then we're going to add in small amounts of the turquoise, but it's not going to be as meticulous. I'm going to try and start with a small amount first. And then I might mix around to the different areas of the orange that weren't mixed in all the way to that puddle and get a second version of that color. This one's a little bit more orange than that one. Let me show you my water here, if I can get that on screen. I just dip it in water and then come back and do the lighter version. And then I might add in some more of the teal, dip it in the water, and do a different version. And I just kind of go back and forth like this, which whatever seems correct. Sometimes I'll go too far one way or the other, and that's when you get kind of the back and forth action. So I might add in a green here. I don't do the light versions of every color, I kind of skip around. Then I might switch to the other pile that I've been mixing into, and this isn't quite the pure turquoise color, so I might go over there, put a lighter streak there, and then I might realize, oh, I got from my orange to my blues too quickly, so I go back into the orange and mix that, and have a different version of a green that's a little bit darker than this one. And I just kind of play with the colors like this. And I try and show you a wide range of what the colors are capable of. And then I realized in this whole set here that I don't have any of the really orangey ones, so I might take my orange again and mix just a teeny tiny bit of, that was even too much, a teeny tiny bit of the phthalo, and then have that version over here. So I hope that was helpful in showing you my full range of colors that I do, maybe off camera, and then what I do for the color spotlight so that you can see different versions of full strength and diluted versions, kind of back and forth, and you can just go between your two puddles and kind of fill in whatever you like. So I hope that this video was helpful in answering the questions that I've been getting about how I mix my little color samples here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, for watching, for commenting, for subscribing, and I will see you next time.